Yeah. I just farted in the car.
We're gonna die now.
We just got out of It.
That's right, Stephen King's It.
Stephen King's The It.
Yeah, no
That.
confusion. This, that, or the other.
This movie is
Turn that down.
I think what we might have, because critics are either absolutely loving or absolutely hating this movie. And while I liked it more than he did, but neither one of us loved it or absolutely hated it. He's more towards like here, and I'm kind of like here. And here's the top, here's the bottom. I mean, I'm a little bit more than him, but
it didn't blow my mind, and it didn't like, meh.
There were parts I didn't like, but really, honestly, I thought this movie was going to piss me off, and it really didn't. Like, there was nothing that there were some scenes that drug on, there were some cliches, like, it almost felt like this movie was originally supposed to be made at the time that movies like 13 Ghosts, because it had that kind of animation to it, like, it had that feel to it, like,
yeah.
As much as I hated The Ring, but, kind of had that same sort of feel. Another critic said this movie would have done much better 10 years ago, and I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I do too. It was not great, but it was not terrible. I don't know. It had a couple of good moments, but it just wasn't really that entertaining. Like, I didn't really enjoy myself, but I didn't get too mad at it, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. It's like the nostalgia critic, probably people watching this watch him. His brother did a review, and he said this movie is why the word meh was invented. Yeah. And he's kind of right. I mean, I think it's a little better than meh, but not much.
No, that's kind of my reaction. Meh.
But I'll say this: it was very well directed, and those kids were all pretty good. I mean, for how they were being directed and the characters they were supposed to be playing, I mean, they felt believable in those roles.
They did work good together. Mm-hmm. Their corny jokes got a little stale. Like, some of them were okay, but after a while it was just like, okay, kid. Okay, Jewish kid. You can say fuck. We get it.
Yeah, and there was annoying-ass people in the audience that every time one of the kids said fuck, these kids, we were both born in 1980, and this movie takes place in 88, and we were both about 8 years old at that point, and so we were at these kids' age. Yeah, we said fuck a lot, and it wasn't funny. We just...
Yeah. Didn't make a point to say it every time that you said anything. It was like, it just went overboard with it. And the thing is, I can get it when, kids are going to joke around and rag on each other. But in some of these situations, it's not a fucking joking matter. It's not funny. There's a fucking stupid clown trying to kill you. Why are you cracking jokes?
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up.
Maybe because it's just my sense of humor. Some of those jokes, but every time that dude said your mom joke to it, I laughed every time. He ragged on the guy's mom. Like, the guy kisses his mom goodbye. He's like, hey, can I have a kiss too? I enjoyed that. That kid's your mom jokes were all so funny.
That was good. That was some of the better jokes between them.
He said something about condoms. I'm saving them for your mom. That was me. I was a your mom kid. Like, there was a couple among my group of friends that were your mama joke guys, and I was.
When they were in there cleaning up the blood, it's like, oh, it was after your mom's period.
Yeah. Which I gotta address a couple of serious issues I have with the filmmaking. One, that scene where they're cleaning up all the blood. It's nobody for some reason is watching my Zombies review. I guess nobody cares to see it, but it's. I reviewed an Asylum film called Zombies, which is all about zombie animals in a zoo, and one of the complaints I had was this kid got blood and guts all over it, and it's like a half hour later, the mom's just wiping it off like it never dries.
Yeah.
And the same thing with this. There's blood. By that point, that blood would have all been dry.
It was like the next day or something stupid. Yeah, the blood just wiped off like it was fresh and freshly there.
And no stain. Nothing was stained red.
Yeah.
Nothing. But the biggest...
And it was imaginary blood. What the fuck you got to clean it up for? It's imaginary. Stop imagining it and you won't have to clean it up.
Well, that's something I actually liked about the film, is they towed that line of what was really happening. Maybe it was really happening to them, but the parents couldn't see it, or it wasn't happening at all and was in their mind.
Yeah.
And so they kind of toyed around with the, you don't know which is which, so... I'll give it a pass on that. For me, it's the technicals of it. Like, okay, I've had injuries in my life where I've bled heavily, and there's stains on the floor. My daughter, like 10 years ago, it was horrifying. My daughter Lindsay tripped and hit the corner of the wall. We would have had to put paint over there because that red spot never completely went away.
Yeah.
And I cleaned it off like within an hour because they took Lindsay to the hospital. I had to stay home, and I cleaned it all up and.
Yeah, it's gonna stain.
Yeah, and especially after all night.
I mean, that was one of the best scenes in the movie because this girl just got drowned in blood. It started coming out of the drain, and it just the whole entire bathroom, the ceilings, the walls, the curtains, everything in there gets drowned in blood.
And it's, oh my god, I mean, this is the bloodiest movie that we saw this year.
This was absolutely the bloodiest movie.
And whether you loved or hated that Evil Dead remake, I didn't mind it. I didn't love it, but it reminded me of that scene where they're just raining blood down on me. And this was all, you could tell it was all practical. None of that was CGI. They were really shooting that shit out of the sink and blowing the fake blood everywhere. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
That was a really good scene.
Oh, in the very beginning, a kid gets his arm bit off.
Yeah, that was cool.
I enjoyed that. But here's another big problem I had. It's in the very beginning of the movie, and I wanted to scream out loud in the theater, like, what? They call the kid the new kid. He's the newbie. And then she pulls out his yearbook and signs it. How the fuck would he have a yearbook? He just started there.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been a yearbook yet.
Why did he get a yearbook?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
Why would they just have it? Was it for collection? I mean,
was he the new kid the whole entire school year? Like, no, that nickname's gonna go away.
Yeah, the next new kid that comes in.
That was another thing that kind of bothered me was the bullies, like those considerably older high school kids. They're driving around, but for some reason they're in the same school as like the little kids.
Yeah, that was.
And they're just ridiculously over bullying everyone. Like the fucking kid carved started to carve his name in the fat kid's stomach.
That was actually
how can. Like, who's not going to say something about that?
That was actually in the book. I mean, like, in the other TV, we'll give our opinions on the original It here in a little bit, but they toned that down for the TV. But I've never read the book, but I know some of the things from it. Like, it was one of those books that it was during a Stephen King period where Stephen King was, like, at his best. Yeah. From, like, his beginning to, like, 92, Stephen King just wrote nothing but good books, and it's in there, but I've just, for some reason, never got to read it. But I know that some of the stuff this one is more closer to the book. So that kind of stuff actually happened in the book. These kids were nuts. That's the whole point, though, is that they're over, but it was a little overdone. I mean,
yeah, like that's just overblown. I don't care how crazy your town is. Somebody's gonna say something about these kids bullying everybody when they're fucking carving their initial, trying to murder them and shit.
Yeah, no.
Like that's just a little too much.
Well, when that car drove by, and it was when it went away, we saw the little balloon in the back, so you know it wasn't really an old lady. It was Pennywise driving by. Let's talk about Pennywise, because I'm half and half on Pennywise. Half the time he's on screen, it's gold. I mean, it's never as good as Tim Curry.
No, but never at all.
That's impossible. I mean, he wasn't even trying to play a Tim Curry impersonation. He was doing his own thing with it. No one will ever do a part like that better than Tim Curry. But half the time, I really enjoyed his performance, and then the other half, I really didn't.
I enjoyed Pennywise when he was talking. When he was doing any action, fuck that clown. It's stupid. Stupid ass fuck clown. Fuck you, shaky cam. Suck a dick.
Yeah.
That shit fucking pissed me off so bad. Every time the stupid clown attacked, it was not only shaky cam, but the fucking speakers tried to blow your fucking eardrums out. That is not how you make a scary scene. You don't have to make the people go deaf to make it scary. That's not scary. Half of that shit would have been more scary if they would have left the sound out of it.
I kind of agree. I do agree with that. And what I meant like earlier when I said this would have worked around the time of like 2003, 2004 is because of those scenes you're talking about when it shows them running in like this like almost stop motion animation style.
Yeah.
It looked like the movie Gothica. I actually really liked that movie but it's like they were ripping that stuff off. Like in 13 Ghosts when the guy with the cage on his head is running, that shit's fucking creepy.
The almost best but probably worst scene was when they first went down to his lair. And the music starts playing, and his little door falls down, and he's stand there with the fire behind him, and he starts to, sing, and then he starts to dance. And instead of him dancing, everything else is doing this number behind him. Like, you ruined it. You totally ruined it. He could have just had the regular stupid clown dance, and that would have been a way, way better scene than making the stupid fake CGI fire behind him go wooga wooga wooga.
There was one funny part though I got to mention, and like I've seen a lot of reviews for this already because this movie's been out for a couple of days now.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where the young girl tries to distract a store clerk so the kids can steal medical supplies. Now, it's obvious he's got rape face on him. He's trying to molest the little girl. But he makes a mention of, he's like, now you look like Lois Lane. But if you looked at her for a second, she actually looked like Amy Adams. She did. She looked like Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I was like, you know what? Not that Lois Lane from back then, Margot Kidder, but this little girl does look like a young Amy Adams.
Yeah.
She's really good, too.
Yeah, she was really good. That dude was totally going to molest the hell out of her.
Oh, every adult in this movie.
Yeah, they're all just creepy molesters, and they want to molest every kid that walks by. The one weird fat mom.
No, the fat mom.
She was a molester. She was giving molester face the whole time. The pharmacist, the dad who was clearly a little handsy with the girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about another scene that had me cracking up? I guess because they didn't want anybody making the jokes, they had the fat kid breathing all heavy, and then he ran up a flight of stairs. I'm like, they know. I know they started him breathing heavy because they know if they had him run up the stairs going, people, what a bitch. But in my mind, I still thought of it that way. Yeah. It's kind of like the scene in Ted. He's like, "Is a fat kid running, hat?" So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was.
And in the end, I mean, there's no sense in not spoiling some of this movie. It's a remake.
Yeah, you know what happened. Plus, it's not really the end; it's the middle.
No,
because it's not the whole movie.
It's chapter 1.
Yeah, nobody told you that till the fucking movie's over, and then it says chapter 1, sucker. Now you gotta pass another fucking $12 to see it again.
But when they cut their hands to do the blood oath, at that point the fat kid has gotten cut up somehow. Why didn't he just reach down and wipe his stomach? Because he's been sliced to ribbons at this point. He's
all tore up. Yeah. I like the fat kid. He was pretty good in that.
I tell you, I really didn't have, even in the worst actor of the kids, still wasn't bad. Like I didn't have any problem with the kids acting in this movie. I mean,
yeah.
And all the adults are supposed to be over creepy and unrealistic characters. So I'll tell you one thing I thought was cool. One of the first parents we're introduced to is the one kid whose dad, they worked on the cattle farm.
Yeah.
His grandpa was Mr. X from X-Files. Yeah. And Creighton Duke from Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I like that guy, Stephen Williams.
Yeah.
He's one of the most underused actors on the planet. Like, I just last year watched every X-Files episode from beginning to end.
He was awesome.
Set, and he was like, so good in X-Files.
Oh, boy, you don't want to murder sheeps? What the fuck's wrong with you? You ain't got no mommy and daddy. Get over it, boy. Yeah. They died last week. This is this week. Fucking shoot that goddamn sheep with that plunger gun.
And like I said, this movie, even though it had children as the focus characters, it did not. It played a hard R. It did not try to make this movie family friendly.
No, not at all.
So don't be like the dumbasses that came in next to us with their fucking 5-year-old kid. If I brought a 5-year-old kid to it, are you serious?
So stupid. And if you're gonna take your fucking fat little 5-year-old kid to the movies, you better put a fucking leash on it, because I'm tired of dumbass, fat-ass little kids and their fat-ass little moms in their flip-flops running past me 5,000 fucking times while I'm trying to watch a movie.
And you know what's sad about this? Like with Spider-Man Homecoming, when that happened to us, that was Spider-Man, right? When all the kids kept
Yeah.
At least in that theater, there was a fucking 100 people. There was only like 20 people. And I've heard that this is like selling out everywhere, and this might do well later this afternoon.
Yeah, they just don't want to see it too early, probably.
And so there was maybe only 20-something people in here, but I was one of them. I had to get up and pee. I drank a liter of water before I got here, which was stupid, and then I got a drink because I got it for free. Why not have a Mr. Pibb? It was free.
I did notice that, though. There was a lot of people getting up and leaving this theater. There's usually not that many people that exits the theater during the movie.
And there was a lot. A couple of them several times. Like, I got up at, like, it was probably about 2/3 of the way through the movie, and I'm like, this looks like a part where I can run out and go to the bathroom real quick, kind of like I did with, what the hell movie was that? Oh my god, we just saw it. Oh, Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah, Hitman's Bodyguard. Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Like, basically, they rode their bikes to the scary house, and then the stutter kid gave a speech that he didn't stutter, and it was not that moving, but I guess it was moving to his buddies. Then they're like, well, we'll follow you to our deaths. You didn't even stutter. Do.
One thing about it, I mean, I don't know. I think I would not recommend this as a matinee, like people that are going to want to see this at night. But I don't know. I mean, I will say this: it moved quick, even though that there were some lulls in it. The movie was 2 hours and 17 minutes. It really didn't. It's not like Transformers. It was 2.5 hours and felt like 5.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that at all.
There was parts of this where I got to feeling like, damn, is this really 4 hours? But like, it picked up pretty well.
The middle of the movie for me, it was weird, because usually like in a movie we'll be like, oh, the first and third acts were solid, but the middle was bad. This movie, the first act is kind of the end is kind of the middle part is really where all the good scenes and the really good stuff, some of the only scary stuff in the movie happens in the middle. So
yeah, because they ruined it at the end. Like the last part of the movie, it sucked. The movie would have been so much better if they didn't take everything down in the dungeon in the dark. Supposed to be the best fight scene in the movie was impossible to follow because it's pitch black. The camera's shaking all over.
Yeah, I agree with
everywhere.
that.
Like, it's looking at the ceiling and the floor and shaking the whole. I felt like it was in an earthquake. It was shaking so bad.
And say if they would have they could have improved that scene by like going under and like have like a high sewer grate with some light shining in, so you just a little bit of backlight.
So you could see a little bit better, especially with. The clown looked cool, so you want to see the cool looking clown and him switch to different things and this and that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't make it pitch black for the final boss fight of the movie.
Final boss fight. Somebody plays too many video games. I still though. Just for the experience of it, and I mean, visually, it's a very pretty film. Some of this tracking, I'm a huge fan. I've mentioned this before. I'm a huge fan of tracking shots over nature, like over water. In the beginning, when they go over the creek and all that, I mean, it was competently shot, except for those fight scenes at the end. The rest of the movie was really pretty to look at. It was really, the cinematography was really good.
The creepy house that they went to was really well done.
It was.
Like, that was an awesome creepy house. You know, there was a lot of good stuff in this. It just, I don't know. It wasn't enough good to outweigh the bad. So that kind of keeps it.
As well directed as it was, I guarantee you there's a director's cut of this film that's probably a little bit longer, that does a little bit more. I guarantee you on the Blu-ray there's going to be a director's cut, and it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Because this director was a good director, and I think that it's obvious it's not the film he made. It got chopped up by the studio, and I don't know. Maybe like I said, hopefully when this comes out on Blu-ray, there is a director's cut. I'd watch it. And,
yeah.
But I mean, don't go pay $14 to $15 to see this movie, but $7.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. I mean, some people might enjoy it a little more. Never that huge of a fan of the original, so it's not like I've got an already jaded opinion because it wasn't so good 100 years ago, so it's not so good now. And if this is the movie that makes you afraid of clowns, fuck you. The clowns aren't even that scary, even when they're being scary.
I get, because I have a couple of irrational fears, and I mean, of course, I'm arachnophobic. I'm terrified of spiders.
Well, yeah,
but I have a reason.
They'll fucking bite you in the nutsack.
I don't know if I ever told this reason, but this is a real true story. I went to a Christian summer camp in the 4th grade. I'm surprised that like the place just didn't get swallowed by the earth when I walked in there. I
corrupted all the other kids.
Hey kids, come here. Don't listen to them. No, but when I was there, the second night I was there, I woke up and I guess a thing of spider eggs had hatched in the bed I was in. I woke up and looked at my chest. There's baby spiders everywhere. I literally was so stricken with fear that my tongue started to hurt and I couldn't make a sound. It just was like, and ever since then I see. And you know what's funny? Big spiders don't really bother me.
That's
It's
creepy.
little fuckers.
Yeah, I've seen a nest of spiders hatch and it's fucking weird. That would suck for that to be right on you.
It was terrifying, but I never got the fear of clowns. I mean. Yeah. I guess if as a baby, like a clown, like surprised you and shot, and maybe like in your inner psyche, it's still there. But
I guess
my wife is afraid of giraffes. I'm not kidding.
That's because she's 3 feet tall.
True. She's 4 foot nothing, really. But giraffes just creep her out, so I used to change the background thing on the computer, so when she gets turned on, just be a big, huge picture of a giraffe like this, like. I tried so hard to find an animator so I could make a little animated scene of a giraffe just biting somebody's head off. But yeah, I never got the fear of clowns. Well, let's talk a little bit about the original and then trailers, and then we'll get going, so we don't run this too long. My thought on the original, I used to think I was in a small percentage of people. It turns out most of the people have the same opinion I do. First half of the original, not so bad. Second half kind of sucked. The end was even dumber than this. But Tim Curry was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I thought of the first one. I think it's way too goddamn long. The adult scenes are annoying. Only the kid scenes are worth watching. And the end is stupid.
And, it wasn't as good as the kid scenes in this one. So.
This was better than the original.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the first half anyway. So
I don't know,
if they're trying to outdo the second half with the chapter 2, then it's probably going to suck really bad. Or
maybe they'll learn, maybe they'll see this and go, okay, this is what people didn't like, this is what we need to fix in the sequel, and they might, because I've seen sequels that are better than the original, like,
with all the adults that we've seen so far, there's going to be a lot of molestation going on.
Oh, I know.
These kids are going to have some sore buttholes.
But they all end up with a lot of candy.
Yeah, that pharmacist guy, you drug him up first.
Yeah, and give them kids free cigarettes and
yeah.
So yeah, real quick, trailers, same old Justice League trailer, which still looks good.
You mean Wonder Woman League? Because it's not even Justice League anymore, because Wonder Woman took over the entire trailer.
Because so far of all the DC movies that have come out since the Dark Knight trilogy, and I'll even include Dark Knight Rises in that, Wonder Woman was by far and away the best one.
Yeah, and that's a really good looking trailer. The only thing that's bothering me about it is they're trying to act like it's a surprise that Superman's gonna be there, when in the very first frame of the trailer, it shows a Superman logo on the billboard, and then, where's Superman? He's part of fuck Justice League, and then Alfred's like, hey, they said you'd come. Yeah, Superman, we knew you'd be here.
If you pay attention to his glasses, you see the blue. from what he's like, the reflection in his glasses. You can see the blue from Superman's suit.
Yeah, like
No, they could throw us for a curve. That might. I would love for us to all think that that's going to be one. There's a rumor that they cast somebody to play Jason Todd in that movie, The Red Hood.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a cool surprise. I'd be blown away by that.
Or, Nightwing has blue on his outfit. Imagine that's Nightwing.
That would be cool.
Oh, I'll be so happy.
We all know it's Superman.
It's probably gonna. But I don't know. Superman, I think they're gonna save for the closing moment of the film, and then Justice League 2. Everybody knows Superman's coming back.
Yeah.
They have to play it up in the Comic-Cons and everything like he's not there, but
yeah,
he's going to be there. Like, my only concern about that movie, I think it looks really good. I'm concerned about Jason Momoa playing Aquaman. And it's not a thing against Jason Momoa. I loved him on Game of Thrones. I just don't think he's right for Arthur Curry.
No.
I'm a comic book nerd, and one of my favorite DC titles right now, oddly enough, Aquaman is one of the strongest titles going for DC right now. I mean, probably the most underlooked title in DC. It's a really great storyline. It's been continuing all throughout. I mean, since the Rebirth issue, over a year now, this storyline has just been going nonstop, and it's really good.
Well, that's cool.
People honking at each other. It looks like they're all just driving around in a circle.
No, that's what I said. They're like just doing laps.
But I don't know. He might surprise me and be good, but I'm not looking. If he's the only bad part of the movie, I'll excuse it.
Yeah, there's lots of other cool people. Then we got, after that was what the hell was the next movie?
The Happy Death Day. You finally get to see that trailer.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Groundhog Day with a girl that keeps dying.
Remember when I told you before, and they kid you, in the beginning, you make it think like it's going to be just another teenager movie, like, oh, this is so stupid, and then boom, it just takes that turn.
Yeah,
like,
and she gets murdered so many times. Yeah, that looks fun.
And there was one other trailer before the new one. We got a new movie trailer. We're going to that last. That'll be the last thing we talk about because I'm so fucking excited for that. What was the other movie we got a trailer for?
It was Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, a new Blade Runner trailer.
That was the second one, and then it was there. Yeah, this new Blade Runner 2049 trailer, it really, really improved the way the movie looked, because the last couple trailers, I at first I was like, oh, that might be cool. And then I was like, no, I don't want to even see that at all.
Yeah.
But Batista is in it.
Yeah, oh my God. Jared Leto's in it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista's in it. I didn't know that. There's so many people
I'm going to
in that.
see it now for sure. This new trailer changed my mind.
We have to watch 2 movies that day, though, because it comes out as the same day as My Little Pony.
Sweet. That's going to be an awesome double feature.
I want to see that. And then we got the trailer. I even looked at him. I was like, I hope that this is what this trailer's for. 'Cause I want the trailer for Jigsaw.
Fuck yeah.
That looks good. The Saw movies are movies that I kind of overlooked for years, and I finally sat and watched them all. And watching them all in a row, they're not bad, especially Part 6. It's really good. But
what's cool is you could tell with all the traps and stuff that it's tied in well with all the rest of the movies, because you saw something from every movie throughout it.
James Wan, the guy who he co-wrote and directed the first one, and then he executive produced the second one, then he got out of the series, but he's the same guy that does The Conjuring, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he made Furious 7. He's coming back, and he is working on as a producer on this one. So
awesome.
It's gonna have his touches all over. So I'm really looking forward to Jigsaw.
Yeah, that's probably the best looking one that's coming out this Halloween season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The new Halloween movie looks okay. The Leatherface movie does not.
I don't know. I'm excited for that. Happy Death Day.
I want to see that, yeah. And speaking of horror films, though, next week we're going to next, and then we got to go ahead and jump off of here before the timer runs out on the camera, or run out of. I didn't clear that much memory, so I think we only have like 40-something minutes, and it'll cut off.
Might not even be recording right now.
Oh no, we are. We still are. That little red thing on top. Next week is Mother.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a shocker. I think that's going to be one of those ones we walk out of that's one of the best movies of the year. It's got Harvey R. Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence, and I love both of them.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence has done a few movies I haven't liked, but I still like her in them. Well, her performance in X-Men Apocalypse was kind of,
Yeah, but she's blue and naked, so.
And but the week after Mother, Kingsman.
That's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that.
Well, I mean, I love The Kings. That was my it tied with another movie. I can't remember the year it came out. Is my favorite movie of the year. Kingsman was one of those movies I watched and went like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea it was going to be that good.
I remember you telling me about it, and then I finally picked it up at the video store and watched it. Like, holy shit, that was awesome.
It was one of the best ending scenes when he's just like, when he flips off the lights and the one dude's in the corner like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, please. And he pulls that thing back and pulls the shot glass into the dude's face, and you just know everyone in that bar is getting fucked up.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how they continue the story.
Yeah. I mean, they're all a couple
Cool.
years older now. Eggsy's not a rookie anymore. He's been in the Kingsman for a few years. Got Channing Tatum in The Statesman.
Yeah.
With Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yes. Anytime Jeff Bridges has a mustache in a movie, it fucking rules.
Absolutely.
Well, he didn't have one in The Fisher King, and I like that movie, but yeah. Anyway. All right, I say go see it, but don't spend a ton because it's not worth spending.
If you don't like
$14.
it, that's your own fault. Don't blame us.
No.
We gave you a warning.
There's enough in there. Like, I thought this was going to be an angry review, and it didn't make me mad, but I'm leaving this theater no different than when I came in. It's not like when we saw like War for the Planet of the Apes and we come out like, oh, so good, and it's not like Transformers where we're like, this movie was better than The Mummy.
Yeah. The Mummy was a disappointment.
That's the biggest disappointment of the last several years for me. It wasn't the worst movie, but god damn was that disappointing.
Yeah, that had so much potential, and it just... This one, I didn't expect much, and...
You didn't get much.
So, meh.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll be back next week for Mother. I say Mother because there's an excellent...
Mother.
Mother! Mother! Tell your children not to walk my way. If Danzig's in this movie, it'll be the best movie ever.
Oh, yeah. That might be the opening theme song.
That'd be awesome. All right. We'll see you next week.
See ya.